This has got to be one of the coolest, unique tricks that I've seen in quadratic patterns. And so what you've got is term 11 is 125, which we can think of as a point. So when n is 11, Tn is 125. So just bear that in mind. We can think of that as a point. Then Tn minus Tn minus 1 in English is just saying the difference between two terms. So that's just giving us the first difference. Tn represents a term number, and Tn minus 1 just means the previous term. So if I wanted the next term, it would be Tn plus 1. And so when they say Tn minus 1, that's just giving me the first difference here. And if they give it to me as a formula, that's the next trick, I can just sub in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to build up the first difference level. And so that's all I'm going to do to turn this super weird question into a chilled customer. And so I'm going to put 1 in here, and that gives me 3 minus 4. The first difference would be minus 1. To get the next first difference term, I'm going to put in 2. That gives me 6 minus 4 is 2. To get the next term, I'm going to sub in 3. That's 9 minus 4 is 5. And there I've built up the first difference level with actual numbers from realizing this is just a first difference formula that I can sub 1, 2, 3, 4 in to get these. Then I can work out that the second difference just goes up by 3 every time. What that helps us with is it means that instead of stressing, which most people might be at this stage, wondering we have nothing in the actual quadratic itself, we just work with the layers and the formulas that we have to get us through all the different layers. And you'll see how the question unfolds so beautifully from there. And so if 2a equals 3, we start at the bottom, then a is 3 over 2. Then I go to the next layer up. If 3a plus b equals minus 1, then this would give you 9 over 2. And if I took it across, that would give you minus 11 over 2. Then if I wanted to get to the top layer, I don't know anything about it, so I can't work with it. And so I pause here and I just write out the quadratic formula. And I know that the a is 3 over 2. I know that the b is minus 11 over 2. And I don't know c, but because I also discipline myself to think of patterns as if they're graphs, this is like a quadratic graph. And whenever in graphs I'm missing a letter, I just sub in a point. And so in the same way, you just sub in a point. 1, 2, 5 represents Tn. 11 represents n. I'm going to sub this into my calculator and see what I get. And that gives me 4. And so C is 4. And so the formula for this will be 3 over 2n squared minus 11 over 2n plus 4. And if I want the first term, they could ask me anything from here. If I want the first term, then I'm just going to I'll sub 1 in for n. And that will just give me an answer of 0. And there you've worked out the question. And so when you see this weird setup here, it just means first difference. If you ever get a formula for first difference, you can sub in 1, 2, 3 to build up the actual numbers of the first difference, which allows you to get the second difference. Then we got A and B by going up through the formula. We were a bit stuffed with C, and so whenever you're missing a letter, you can sub in a point. And we thought of this random 11th term equals 125 as a point. And once we sub that in, we got C, and once we had the formula, we were good to go with anything that they asked us to work out. So I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share this with your friends.